what's up everyone? It's Amber here with another Stellar Guitarists guitar tutorial, and today we are going to be learning how to play Wonderful World by Cooke. So if this is something you want to learn, then grab your guitar and let's get into the lesson today. So I've zoomed in here for a close-up. First thing to take note of is that your guitar needs to be in standard tuning and that you need to put a capo onto the 4th fret of your guitar. So let's tackle the chords that we're going to need in the song. So the first chord we're going to need is a G major chord. The next one we need is an E minor chord. We then need a C major. We need a D major chord. We're also going to need an A7 chord. And you can play this with your 1st and 2nd fingers. You can play it like you would a normal A and just lift up your middle finger. Or you can play it with your 2nd and 3rd fingers. It really is up to you how you want to play this A7 chord. And we're also going to need a D7 chord. A lot of my students feel like it looks like an upside down D, which is absolutely correct. So if we have a normal D major, a D7 is kind of like the shape upside down. Now, if you are just starting out on your guitar journey and these 7th chords are throwing you for a bit of a loop, well, you can just play a normal A and a normal D if that is a little bit more comfortable for you. It's going to work just as well in the song, so make sure you are just playing what you feel comfortable with. So we're going to start off by working on learning the verse of the song. So the chords are going to be up on the screen for you to follow along with. So the chords that we're going to need, we need 1 bar of G major, then we're going to do 1 bar of E minor, then to a C, and then we're going to be going to a D major. And each of these chords is going to be held for 4 counts each. So let's try playing through that verse with 1 down strum on each chord, starting on the G. A 1, 2, 3, 4, and G. Don't know much about E minor. To C. Don't know much about the D major chord. Back to G. Don't know much about the E minor book. To C. Don't know much about the D chord. So moving on to looking at the chords used in the chorus, we are going to have a G major chord to a C chord, back to G again, and back to C again. We then have D, and we're ending on the G. So let's practice playing through the chorus, also using 1 down strum. A 1, 2, 3, 4, and G. But I do know that C loves you, and to G. And I know that if you see me too, what a D world this would to the G. Now I'm really spending a lot of time here with 1 down strum on each of these chords because it's such a great way to learn a song. I think that too many of us think that in order to play a song successfully, we have to be adding in all sorts of different strumming patterns. And this is not necessarily true. I think that if you are a beginner and you are starting out and you are finding it difficult to sing and strum at the same time, then I highly suggest that you spend as much time as possible doing what we just did now. And that is practicing playing through the song, playing with 1 down strum on each chord. And later on in this lesson, I will be doing a mini playthrough of the song where you'll have the lyrics and the chords up on the screen. And all you need to do is you need to strum the chord whenever you see it above a specific word. That is as simple as it is, and that is a great way and a great place to start as a beginner trying to learn how to strum and sing at the same time. So why don't we try and put that first verse and chorus together, and we're going to continue playing just 1 down strum on each of the chords. So starting on that G chord, a 1, 2, here we go, and G. Don't know much about E minor, to C. Don't know much by D chord, and G. Don't know much about the E minor book, and to C. Don't know much about the D major chord, and the chorus. But I do know that C loves you, and to G. And I know that if you see me too, what a D world this would to the G. So before we go on any further in today's lesson, please could I ask you to like this video if you are enjoying my content. By doing this, it notifies YouTube that people actually enjoy my lessons here on YouTube, and so it gets promoted further. And that just helps me grow my channel, and it allows me to continue making lessons just like this one for you every single week. Now, if you are a beginner guitarist and you're just starting out on your journey and you need a little bit of help, then I would seriously suggest clicking the link below this video and going and checking out my guitar course, the Stellar Academy. This guitar program has been designed specifically with the beginner in mind, where I help you learn all about rhythm, how to change chords smoothly, how to understand reading chord charts, how to read tablature, and all sorts of things that is going to lay a wonderful foundation for you on your guitar journey going forward. So go check it out, and I hope to welcome you into the program. Right, let's get back into today's tutorial. So next up, we're going to start thinking about adding in a strumming pattern. Now, the strumming pattern that I love to use in the song is down, down, up, up, down, up. And the reason why I'm using this is because it is a beginner-friendly pattern, and usually a strumming pattern that most beginners start to learn at the very start of their journey. So for every chord that you see in the song, you're going to play one round of that strumming pattern. So let's give that a try on the chords in the first verse. Starting on that G, a 1, 2, 3, 4, G, to E minor, change to C, and to D, back to G, E minor, and to C, and to D. Let's go to the chorus, and G, but I do know that C, and to G, and I know that if you see me too, change to D chord, and to G. Instead of doing a down strum on the first beat of every chord, what we can do is pick out a bass string. So let's go through each of the chords that we have and which bass string you are going to need to pick. So for the G major chord, we're going to pick the low E string before doing a down, up, up, down. So it's going to sound like this: bass, down, up, down. Bass, down, up, down. The E minor chord is going to be the exact same bass string. It's our low E string. For the C major chord, it's going to be the A string. So that's our 5th string. And for the D major, it's going to be our D string, also known as the 4th string. And a little later on, we are going to be using that A7 chord, or just a normal A chord, depending on your abilities, and that is also going to be plucking the A string. So now let's go through and demo the new strumming pattern with that extra bass string, and let's try play through the verse. So starting on the G, a 1, 2, here we go, and bass, down, up, down to E minor, C, and D, back to G, E minor, and C, and D. And the last section that we're going to be looking at today is the bridge. So the chords are going to be up on the screen, and we're going to go back to playing one down strum on each of those chords just to get into the swing of the song. So it starts on a D chord. 1, 2, 3, 4 to G, and A student, back to D. 2, 3, 4, and G, 2, 3, 4. We change to an A7 or an A, whichever one you're comfortable with. 1, 2, 3, 4, back to G, 2, 3, 4, A7 again, and then to D7 or to D. So let's try that again from the beginning. A 1, 2, 3, 4, and D. I don't claim to G and A student, back to D, but I'm trying to G major. Now A7, going to be a G student, baby. A7 could win your D7 for me. And of course we can add in our strumming pattern down, down, up, down, up on that bridge as well, and it would sound like this. A 1, 2, 3, and I don't claim to be an A student, but I'm trying to be, to A7, maybe being a G student, baby. I could win your love for me. And you can also add in those bass strings if you wanted to, so it could also sound like this. 1, 2, 3, and I don't claim to be an A student, but I'm trying to be, or maybe by being an A student, baby, I could win your love for me. So those are the main 3 sections of the song. You can play the song with one strum, you can play the song with down, down, up, down, up, or you can play the song using the bass, down, up, down, up. It's completely up to you. All that's left to do now is to join me in the next section of this lesson, where we are going to be doing a mini playthrough of the song. Let's take it from the beginning, starting on that G chord. A 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't know much about history, don't know much biology, don't know much about a science book, don't know much about the French I took, but I do know that I love you, and I know that if you love me too, what a wonderful world this would be. Don't know much about geography, don't know much trigonometry, don't know much about algebra, don't know what a slide rule is for, but I do know 1 and 1 is 2, and if this one could be with you, what a wonderful world this would be. Now I don't claim to be an A student, but I'm trying to be, or maybe by being an A student, baby, I could win your love for me. Don't know much about history, don't know much biology, don't know much about a science book, don't know much about the French I took, but I do know that I love you, and I know that if you love me too, what a wonderful world this would be. So there you have it, everyone. That's how you play Wonderful World by Sam Cooke. I hope that you had a wonderful time with me here today in the lesson. Don't forget to like this video and to check out the lesson that is being suggested to you right now on the screen. I really hope to see you next week in my next tutorial. Have a really great day, everyone. Bye.